Welcome to Alaska Matters with Chris Story. To reach Chris, call 226-3933. 226-3933. Now, giving you something to talk about, here's Chris Story.
Do you know who I am? I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
Oh, shucks. How are you doing today? Did you have a nice Memorial weekend? I did. Oh, I'll tell you, this morning I got up about 4 o'clock. I mean, I'm not bragging. I don't think that's bragging rights, but I was up at 4 o'clock, maybe 4:15, getting some work done. And I happened to look out the east windows of our house. Now, we don't see the sunrise in the summertime at our house, but we do see some of the effects, you know, the glow on the spit and some different things. But we'll always look forward to the wintertime when we get our sunrises back. Of course, then we also can see the sun set like 4 hours later, so that's a problem. But anyway, looked out this morning about 4 o'clock, noticed, man, what a sunrise. What a day. This is the kind of day where you say, thank God I woke up in Alaska. I don't know about you, but that's how I'm feeling right now. You know, Occupy Prosperity, it's the basic premise of my economic philosophy is such that to be so busy rowing, you don't have time to rock the boat. And I really believe that you can wake up to your American dream. I think you can do it in your own backyard. I think you can become a backyard millionaire. You got to get started. But more than that, it really requires a basic understanding of economics. Not much more than that. I mean, not much more than a basic understanding. But I think it does require some understanding. And I think my philosophy is best summarized in a 2-minute clip. I want you to hear. It's Milton Friedman discussing economic theories with Bill Donahue in 1979. And I'm telling you, this is like a master's degree, a PhD. This is everything you need to know in macro, micro, all forms of economics in 1 2-minute fell swoop. Check it out.
When you see around the globe the maldistribution of wealth, the desperate plight of millions of people in underdeveloped countries, when you see so few haves and so many have-nots, when you see the greed and the concentration of power within, did you ever have a moment of doubt about capitalism and whether greed's a good idea to run on?
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? What is greed? Of course, none of us are greedy. It's only the other fellow who's greedy. The world runs on individuals pursuing their separate interests. The great achievements of civilization have not come from government bureaus. Einstein didn't construct his theory under order from a bureaucrat. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize the automobile industry that way. In the only cases in which the masses have escaped from the kind of grinding poverty you're talking about, the only cases in recorded history are where they have had capitalism and largely free trade. If you want to know where the masses are worst off, it's exactly in the kinds of societies that depart from that. So that the record of history is absolutely crystal clear that there is no alternative way so far discovered of improving the lot of the ordinary people that can hold a candle to the productive activities that are unleashed by a free enterprise system.
But it seems to reward not virtue as much as ability to manipulate the system.
And what does reward virtue? You think a communist commissar rewards virtue? You think a Hitler rewards virtue? You think, excuse me, if you'll pardon me, do you think American presidents reward virtue? Do they choose their appointees on the basis of the virtue of the people appointed or on the basis of their political clout? Is it really true that political self-interest is nobler somehow than economic self-interest? You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. And just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that.
There you have it. That's an economic lesson in 2 minutes. I couldn't agree with Milton Friedman more. I think that just really typifies the concept of what's made America so great. And as we explore free trade, and notice he said largely free trade. He didn't say without rules, without regulations. Obviously, rules and regulations make trade possible and are definitely necessary to a point. And so I love that term, largely free trade. And so I discussed that a lot with some of my more left-leaning friends about regulations and so forth. Yes, we need them, but largely we need free trade. So our guest today is Joy Huffman. She's somebody doing just what we're discussing. She's working full-time on her job and part-time on her future and part-time on her fortune. She'll discuss today what it is to be a full-time mother of 4 and a part-time self-employed individual making it happen in Homer, Alaska. It's exciting. You're going to love meeting Joy Turkington Huffman. A lot of you probably already know her. Can't wait to get more of her story. Also, we'll have another installment of Becoming Alaskan with Sarah Richardson and Blackwater Bend Espresso Mind Bender. I want to give away a free coffee card to you today, so dial this number when we're ready, 226-3933. All that coming up right here on Alaska Matters. On the road to Anchorage the other day, in the distance, yes, I could see the bright lights of Blackwater Bend Espresso. While my gas tank was full, I was running on empty. Blackwater Bend Espresso, just what I needed. Along with my Black Mancino, which is a quad shot Americano in a 16-ounce glass, without any cream, just like God intended it. I also got a ham and cheese croissant. I'm telling you, that was the highlight of my trip. Blackwater Bend Espresso, never leave Homer without it.
Hi folks, Jackie Ray here for the Caribou Family Restaurant. The Caribou Family Restaurant wants you to remember how happy you were at Thanksgiving, past Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, how happy you were with the service, how happy you were with the highest quantity of food, more than you can eat every day at the Caribou Family Restaurant, how happy you were with the quality of food, how happy you were with the prices for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In fact, the Caribou Family Restaurant wants you to remember each and every time you hear or see the word happy, how happy you were with sumptuous prime rib on Friday and Saturday nights, breakfast any time of the day or night. So if you want to be happy again, stop by the Caribou Family Restaurant and be happy every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Lake Street and Pioneer Drive in downtown Homer. Check it out. Be happy every day at the Caribou Family Restaurant, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. See you here, 235-5148. Orders to go.
Oh, no. I'm out of water. No problem. Call More and More, your locally owned water supplier. 24-hour service from your locally owned water company. Tired of working with an outside corporation? Want to support local business and get better service for less? Then put More and More to work for you. 235-8837. More and More is next door. 235-8837.
In 1964, the Beatles were holding your hand, and you could buy a brand new home for less than $20,000. In 1964, the average U.S. salary was just $6,000. A lot's changed since 1964, but one thing remains the same. The Homer News is as committed to serving the people of Homer today as they were on their very first edition in 1964. Find your new home in the Homer News, or how about a new job? What's the latest city policy? Read all about it in the Homer News. What are you doing this weekend? Chances are you found it on homernews.com, your home for daily best bets and 24/7 coverage of what matters most to you. Homer News.
Just take those old records off the shelf.
You're listening to Alaska Matters. I'm Christopher Story, singing the same old tune over and over again that you can occupy prosperity right in your own backyard. Alaska Matters, and so do you. You can find our program online at adventurealaskaradio.com, adventurealaskaradio.com, and we'll have this program posted there later today. And those of you listening all across the country, welcome to the program on the podcast. Those of you listening around Alaska, I'm so jealous of you. You get to listen to the show. This is going to be an awesome show. Joy Turkington Huffman will be here in just a moment. But first, let me give away a Blackwater Bend Espresso card. It's time for our Mind Bender. This ripped from the headlines of Alaska. Bristol Palin's got a new reality show coming up on the Lifetime Network. Of course, it's not going to be Spike TV, right? What is the title of Bristol Palin's new television show? Is it A, Mommy's Girl, B, Life's a Trip, or C, Leaving Levi? That's my personal favorite, Leaving Levi, but it's probably not right. Call the number right now. Tiffany is standing by at 226-3933. 226-3933. This, you're playing for a coffee card. This is a Blackwater Bend Espresso coffee card. It could be yours right now. 226-3933. Please welcome Joy Turkington Huffman to the program. Welcome to Alaska Matters, Joy.
Thank you, Chris.
You're bringing joy to our hearts.
Oh, thank you.
You know, your grandparents are the Turkington family, long-time entrepreneurs in Alaska. Did that inspire you to be an independent business person?
I think that not only my grandparents, but growing up, my mom, she always had something going on so that she could be a stay-at-home mom, but still be able to bring in a little bit of income into the family and also get out of the house a little bit.
Right.
Growing up with 3 siblings, there's 4 of us. I'm sure, it's not easy growing up in Homer and as a parent, being able to subsidize income around here because there's not a whole lot of income opportunities.
That's what I wonder. I wonder if it's unique to Alaska or if it's ubiquitous across the country, and it probably is, but we see it more often here right up close and personal, is that small business, all business is small business really at its heart, but there are so many people living in Alaska that depend on their own business opportunity to just make Alaska what it is and to carve out your living up here. I think that's historic to our founding. So what do you ever find yourself going, well, in a business situation, I wonder what Mom would do, or calling her up and asking her for some business advice?
Oh, I use my mom all the time.
Good for you.
She's my sounding board for everything. So
I think you have an advantage that way. Myself, growing up here in Homer, and my parents and grandparents, self-employed, independent business people, I truly feel that it's easier for me to do and talk about it than maybe somebody who's not had that experience or never saw it up close and personal, that it being independence and entrepreneurial. A friend of mine said that, as an independent business person, you wake up unemployed every single day.
Definitely. I definitely find that I have an advantage just mentally, because I know that my grandfather, he was, he basically helped to create Homer. And then my mom, I come from a long history of self-employed and people that have created their own business opportunities. So I'm very, very lucky in that respect, and the thought doesn't scare me.
Right. Now, what business are you in right now?
I am an independent consultant with Scentsy Wickless Candles. So I'm part of the Scentsy family. They have wickless candles, which make your home smell fabulous.
I can attest to that. In fact, here at Story Real Estate, where we're broadcasting from, we actually have some of the products that you sell, and we love them. People come in every day and say, wow, it smells good in here. We always give you credit for that, though.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
Well, now, this is a large company. Scentsy is a very large company, but do you still feel, you're independent and you're an independent contractor. Do you feel a sense of independence even though you're affiliated with a larger firm?
Oh, absolutely. The company there's quite a bit of room to create your own niche and your own, the way that you run your own business. I know that myself, I've got a couple of downline here in Homer, fabulous ladies, and we all run our business differently, but it works for all of us. And there's enough support in the Homer area. People here are great. People in Homer love to support local and support people that they know. And we've been very fortunate to be able to run our businesses how it works for us.
And obviously, social media and using the internet. I refer to the internet as the great equalizer. And I think that you can live in remote Homer or Seldovia or Port Graham or Anchor Point or any of these vicinity outlying locations and compete on a large-scale basis. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how many, so I say, you're working full-time on your job, which is being the mother of 4, and part-time on your future fortune. How many hours a week are you working on your business?
Oh, goodness.
Approximately.
I spend probably, realistically, a couple of hours a day sporadically.
Okay.
In between children and things, between keeping my website updated, placing orders, contacting hostesses, doing things like that. I'm now a director. I've got a fabulous downline, so I need to keep in touch with my downline and make sure that they've got the support that they need. So just maybe a couple hours a day. There are days that I don't do a darn thing. My husband works in Barrow, so he's gone a lot of the time. So when he comes home, me doing what I do allows me the opportunity to kind of put things on hold when he's home. So I don't do a lot of business for that week or two that he is here.
Now, we're going to talk about what you mean by downline and so forth, but first, without getting into specifics, because I don't want to get into your dollars and cents, but just in generalities, working part-time on your independent consulting business and your sales business, name a few things that maybe you've been able to do or that you've accomplished or that have come your way as a result of working in a part-time way.
Well, my husband and I are getting ready to head to the Dominican Republic in 2 weeks.
Nice. Wow.
And I earned it. It's all expenses paid. It's an all-inclusive resort we're going to. And I earned it just with my FMC sales. So it's a fabulous opportunity. We get to go right before our 10th anniversary, and I get to provide it. So how fabulous is that?
Exactly. And how fabulous would it be for you to learn the secrets to success and starting your own small business direct from Joy Turkington Huffman when we return on Alaska Matters.
It's a world apart in the heart of the city. Tucked into this beautiful 4-bedroom home on East Fairview Avenue in Homer are light and airy, spacious rooms, including a large family room, a 2-car garage, hot tub, playhouse, and a view. It's a quiet location for private enjoyment of everyday living. Deborah Lysick at Bay Realty is ready to show you this amazing 2,400-square-foot home now. Just call 235-6183, 235-6183 for Bay Realty. And remember, when you need results, Bay Realty works.
After this long winter, you deserve a break. Treat yourself to the joys of Alaska this summer and let Dutch Boy Landscaping take care of your lawn and yard work. Danny and his team are ready to make your property look its best. So when you see the bay is flat calm and the fish are biting, head out on the water and know your lawn's going to look its best all summer long. Dutch Boy Landscaping. Call Danny today at 235-7140. Dutch Boy Landscaping at 235-7140. Dutch Boy, your lawn's best friend.
Now's the time to get those construction projects lined up for this summer. From excavating to landscaping, Gregoire Construction is the one to call to get it done. Call and talk to Richard about the work you'd like to have scheduled at 399-1526. Driveways, asphalt paving, water and sewer, land clearing and landscaping. Call 399-1526, 399-1526. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Gregoire Construction.
For Radio Realty, I'm Chris Story. Housing news is mixed all around the country. If you remember these 3 simple things, you can ignore everything else. 1, real estate's a long-term investment. Buy and hold. 2, real estate's local. Don't dress for Florida when you live in Alaska. 3, real estate's where a majority of the wealthy hold their fortune. For all things prosperous, catch Radio Realty live every Wednesday at 12:30 on KPEN 102 FM. Online at radiorealty.us. I'm Christopher Story. You're listening to Alaska Matters. Mr. David Webb is our engineer and executive producer. Tiffany's our call screener. And in fact, Keisha, you're the winner. You knew that Bristol Palin's new show, new reality television show coming out on Lifetime Network is called Life's a Trip. That's right. Lifetime Network has premiere date set for its new reality show. And I really thought, that comes out, by the way, June 19th. I'm sure that all of you will be listening to that. There's 14 episodes that will take place. Wow. I don't know what that's going to be about, but you know that I'm going to tune in. Why not? You are too. You are too. Don't be hating on the Palins. Don't be hating on them. Good people. I'm telling you what, doing more for Alaska in their reality shows and all that stuff. Every time I see Sarah Palin out there commenting on anything, I mean, it makes headline news, and Alaska's front and center. So, all right, we're here with Joy Turkington Huffman. Her grandparents are long-time Homer residents and entrepreneurs. Her mother has followed suit, and actually on both sides of Joy's family, you'll find entrepreneurial endeavors from oak farming to restaurateuring, fishing, bus barns, a little bit of everything their family's done. And Joy currently is selling a product called Sensi, and she's worked her way up, in fact, going to the Dominican Republic pretty soon. Joy, you're a full-time mom working part-time on your job, and you've mentioned a couple different times that you have a downline, which is a reference to multi-level marketing. I'm not sure if that's the right term anymore or not, but essentially where you have associates that you've signed up and they sell underneath you. My question is, a lot of people are reluctant, and I have to put myself in that category, or at least I used to be reluctant of getting involved in those kinds of products. And I say used to because Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book called Why We Want You to Be Rich. And they framed this issue for me in such a clear way. I want to see if you concur. And they said essentially if they had it to do over again, they would most certainly have started in a multi-level marketing situation or scenario, because the organization is there, the support is there, the education and the training, all the steps of the ladder are there in front of you. And even if you don't stay with that company forever, it's an opportunity to get the basics of business and see what an organization that is well run and organized looks like from the inside out. Do you concur with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's good. I mean, that's all right. Well, tell us a little bit about why you joined this particular organization and why you stay with it.
Okay. Well, I was one of those people who drug my feet.
Okay.
At first I said I don't want to ever be a salesperson. I came from being a corporate travel agent in my life before children and working with multi-million-dollar companies, and had children, and I was home. And a friend introduced me to Sensi. She knew that I loved smelly good things, and so did my husband.
And who doesn't? Come on.
I know. And so she introduced me to it, and once I used the product, and once my husband discovered the product, he's actually the one who suggested that I sign up.
And that's important. I think that's a key element, is that you've got to believe in what you're selling. Isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely.
If you didn't believe in it, you can't be authentic and sincere when you're presenting it, in which case you wouldn't be headed to the Dominican Republic to celebrate your success.
Exactly. And when I originally signed up, it was basically in my head, I told myself I was just going to sign up so that I could get stuff for myself and for a few friends and for my mom. And I wasn't necessarily intending to work it as a business, but once people discovered the product, it sold itself. Mm-hmm. And I am able to create a schedule, and I only do things a couple days a week, or a couple days a month. Mm-hmm. And
the rest of it is communication and ordering and so forth.
And I'm a mom.
Well, there's that. There's that.
Yeah.
Well, what advice do you have? You talked about being reluctant. You said it took you a while to overcome. What do you think pushed you over the edge to go self-employed from the corporate world to, for those people that are listening that don't necessarily have the family background or the experience close up and personal, was there something you read or somebody you listened to aside from Jason's prompting that you do this? What moved you?
Well, it was the fact that I could work the business how I wanted to, and I could do as much or as little as I was comfortable with. And there was no pressure. It's not like you have to have certain sales or certain numbers every month or you're going to be terminated. This company basically allows you to work at your own pace. Your income potential is limitless.
Well, talk about that. Is it such that you could replace, maybe if you're working a part-time job after school, before school, when the kids are in whatever, is this the kind of income that could replace a part-time job in the sense that we normally think of a part-time job?
Yes. Wow. I have basically replaced my part-time income. When I was working, I worked for a minute, part-time, 4 hours a day with the school district. Okay. And I've been able to basically make more than I did there.
And also you're getting sent to a foreign country, a tropical foreign country, which I don't think, no offense to the school district, but I don't think they're handing out
fabulous.
trips. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, that's one of the only jobs that you can get around here, that you can have summers and weekends off with your kids.
Right.
And so this is my other opportunity to be a full-time mom and a part-time business person and be able to make it all work together.
My cousin in Florida runs a restaurant, or used to run a restaurant. He's since closed it down. But he said that there's always the type of people that are front of the house, and then there's back of the house people. Yes. There's the hostess and host, and then somebody they can meet and greet, and then there's somebody you just do not want them coming out of the kitchen. Pretend you're talking to that back of the house guy or gal that's a little reluctant to enter the sales world. Any advice?
Well, absolutely. Even I do have a few people who are signed up underneath me who don't want to be that public person. They have a hard time getting up in front of people, but there are opportunities with this company. You don't have to do in-home parties. You can do basket parties. You can do online parties. You can create your business however you want. So you don't have to be going into people's homes if that's out of your comfort zone. You can do fairs, you can do fundraisers, which are two of my favorite things. But there are so many other opportunities. You don't have to necessarily go into people's homes. You can provide them with a fabulous product without having to go into their homes.
And the reality is, if we go back to an earlier comment, that you believe in what you're selling, and you replace the word selling with sharing.
Yes.
That's what, in terms of what I think, that a lot of times nobody likes to be sold.
No.
But everybody loves it when you share something with them. And I think that may be the secret to small business jitters in general. When you feel like you have to sell a product, really you're just sharing something you believe in. And if you really believe in it and you present it in a educated and intelligible manner, you're going to do just fine, and you can get over those jitters. And I got to tell you, Joy, I'm the kind of person that I'm a wallflower. No, I'm kidding. Stop it. Well, this is great. Now, you've piqued a lot of people's curiosity. What if somebody's listening and says, I may not be interested in this product, but I would like to know more either about Joy or about the Scentsy product that you're representing. Where would somebody go to learn more?
Well, I am on Facebook, and I'm also, you can go to my website, which is, can I plug that?
Oh, please.
It's www.jhuffman.scentsy.us, and that's SCENTSY.
.us. Okay.
Yep. And that has links to, it has my phone number. It's got everything on there also.
All right, Joy, it's been a real pleasure, and we'll have you back sometime. I want to get a panel of business owners and developers together and really go into this in a deeper way. So we'll have you back on as part of that panel, and wish you all the best, and be sure to stay out of the sun in the Dominican Republic.
I will try.
And hey, and Jason's got no hair on his top of his head, so bring a little extra lotion, right?
I know, and he's coming from Barrow where it's 20 degrees. So.
Wow. All right, Joy, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Chris.
What a great gal. What a great family, and just a real pleasure to work with, work with exactly what you want to do in life. Hey, let's go for an installment of Where We Live with Becoming Alaskan. This is Sarah Richardson.
I actually like it. I ate black bear, and I liked it. Last weekend, Hunter cooked up some bear ribs for me. At my request, he kept it simple. He pulled out his trusty pressure cooker. He put the ribs in, let them cook for about 15 minutes, and he took them out, finished them on the grill, doused them with a wee bit of barbecue sauce, and let me tell you, these were awesome. The meat was sweet and tender. It wasn't gamey or fishy in the least bit. It was just downright delicious. So now here I am working on the rest of the bear in my freezer. I've got 20-pound package that I'm going to turn into sausage. Now, Hunter has got this meat grinder. This guy went online and he shopped and shopped and shopped for this thing. He picked out the meat grinder he wanted, and then he went and bought the next model up. So I have this massive meat grinder. It's heavy, it's loud, it'll probably grind a tree trunk if I let it. So that 20 pounds of bear, that'll be ground in a matter of seconds. But that's going to be the easy part of it. The hard part is going to be spicing the casings. That's what's got me. I'm not too sure. So I'm going to have to teach myself how to, A, make sausage, and B, get those sausages into casings. It looks tricky. I've got casings in my cupboard, but, they just look like a package of snake skins all rolled up. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get that done. But serendipitously, one of my favorite food sites called Food 52 ran an article about curing and smoking bacon at home. Timing couldn't have been better. The instructions are quite easy to follow, and only a few little modifications are going to be needed for bare meat. And that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to cure me some bacon. I shouldn't be this excited about the whole endeavor, but I am. I plan to make some homemade French baguettes and gorge myself on BLT probably next week. That'll be my plan. I can hardly wait. Hunter didn't bring home any bear fat, so my plan to make cinnamon rolls was scratched. He did bring home a bear hide, though. We're going to have to talk about that. He's hiding it. It's in the freezer. So there's my last vegetarian homework. Figure out how to stuff a sausage, make myself some bacon, and start practicing making baguettes for some yummy BLT.
BLT is in bear lettuce and tomato. You know, I'll never eat bear again. Got trichinosis a long time ago. It was gluttony that actually got me as sick as I really did, but it was raw bear. Who does that? Anyway, that was Sarah Richardson, Becoming Alaska. You can find her blog online and at the homernews.com. Homernews.com. Dave, thanks for a great program.
Wow, it was fun. Good guest today.
Oh, yeah, Joy's an inspiration. I'll tell you, tomorrow, Dave, we're going to unveil more about our Great Alaskan Land Rush on Radio Realty.
Okay, yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, don't sound too excited. It's actually pretty awesome. Like I said before, 10 years of selling real estate, I don't know, 30, 40 years of watching it being sold. Alaska matters, and so do you.
The Peninsula's home for unforgettable favorites. Great listening, 620 AM, KGTL, Homer.